We're live. Welcome to Churros y Tácticas Podcast, Monday, the 28th of October. And you know what? Guess who's back? Barça's back. Yes, indeed. It's for Shizzies. 4 goals were handed over at the Santiago Bernabeu. And you know what? Kiyan Sobani, in the words of the creator himself of this humble little podcast called Churros y Tácticas, he said, it's another one. His first words, as we exchanged a brief phone call this morning, were, and it's another one. And yes, indeed it is. Part 1 of the post-Clásico Hangover is coming to you on D-Spot, but good news for all of you tuning in. No drinks, just an empty water bottle over here. The good news is that Kiyan Sobani will be back for a part 2 tomorrow. He will be back, yes indeed. And boy, has he missed a month. It's been a long time, Kiyan. I'm happy to know that you will be back. So there is a part 2 coming to you guys tomorrow, but I had to at least get something out. You know, after all of the build-up, which I hope that you guys have been enjoying on Churros or patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas. The build-up has been a 2-part build-up. Tomorrow, we will be the dynamic duo, the most underrated duo in football podcasting, will return with a part 2. I say that because it'll be a lot more in depth. I needed to put something out, but this latest news has completely thrown me off. As is this lighting, man. I don't know what the hell's going on with this bullshit ass fucking lighting right now, man. I'm not getting that lighting at the sweet spot anymore. The Ballon d'Or. So that's kind of like thrown everything tits up. It's now, bang, we've turned the page on the Clásico, and things just keep getting better. I mean, when it rains, it pours. So they say, right? When it rains, it pours. And what can go wrong, what can go wrong will go wrong. It's funny, man. Momentum, dynamics, how things change as Barça come off the back of that, I mean, historic, let's hope historic, at least memorable week, let me put it that way, beating back-to-back giants and juggernauts on the footballing scene, and what have been a bit of bestia negras, of course. Both Bayern and Madrid have been getting the better of Barça. And Taps, what's up, Holmes? Great weekend of football all around. Great weekend for Barça, my friend. Great weekend for Barça. I don't give a fuck what else happened in football. It's been great, though. Rainy ass Barcelona day. It's been definitely not doomy and gloomy. Rainy, yes, but it was very good to go into work. And I mean, the mood, everything is just shifted, man. Taps, I'll tell you. I don't know. The positive vibrations just keep coming. And hey, I'm going to enjoy riding this wave while I can, my friend. We have to. We gasta. You know, tenemos que aprovechar esto. We have to absolutely take advantage of having smacked down the big Barça. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to stay family friendly. Now that I know sometimes my kids tune in, I got to clean it up. But having smacked down the fist, the Blaugrana fist with authority, back-to-back wins over Bayern and Madrid, it's put us back on the map. I mean, I can't say it now. We're back competing with the best, taking out the juggernauts that were Bayern and Madrid in just a fantastic week, man. I'm going to get to the Ballon d'Oro stuff in a little bit, or am I not? I don't know, man. I kind of don't want to touch that one with a, what do they say, with a 1-foot stick, whatever that saying is. I kind of, you know, I, of course, will have to dip my toes and wet my feet a little bit, but I'm imagining with Kiyan coming back tomorrow, as I have been saying, Kiyan will be back tomorrow for part 2. I'm gonna stay I'll share my opinion. But can we focus on the Clásico, please? I know I'm late. I'm fashionably late. That's the churro style. That's how we do's. All right. It was. Give me something. It was right off the bat. I'm gonna take the congratulations from all Madridistas because, of course, it was an emphatic win. The 4-0 will go down as one of those historic ones. The 4-0s, 4-0 with Xavi, 4-0 with Lucho, was it? When I say 4-0, I mean in the Bernabeu, of course. Or was it Valverde? The Suarez display. The 6-2, obviously, as well. I mean, we can go down in history and talk about really quite great games of Barça in the Santiago Bernabeu. I myself, this was in the Supercopa that I saw a Barça win in the Santiago Bernabeu when I was living there. So we're talking like 2008, 9? Anyway, who gives a shit? Barca's been having great games in the Santiago Bernabeu. It's been a while, it's true, that we haven't. So all the more reason to appreciate what has been done by Hansi Flick and the team. And what a game that I felt is probably... I originally saw it a lot more... a level playing field. I mean, those 45 minutes... Madrid had their chances, right? Despite the offsides, there were also some bad finishing on part of Vinny himself as well. There were definitely moments. There was the one-on-one between Vinny, I think, if I seem to remember right, and Iñaki Peña. Iñaki Peña had a stellar game. Oh my God! Put some respect on Iñaki Peña's name. It, quite frankly, with all the scrutiny and the pressure that he's been getting, I say scrutiny because I mentioned last week myself even of all of the starting 11. When I was asked about an ideal 11, I said, I would take a fit Courtois over Iñaki Peña, but between a Lunin and a Peña, I'm sticking with Peña. That was sort of before Courtois was confirmed out. But what a great game that kid had, man. What a great game, Iñaki Peña. All that to say that I think the first half was very evenly disputed. I didn't feel that it was Barça, we were inferior. There weren't that many chances created, but I felt that we were completely in this game, albeit not controlling it as much as I would have ideally wanted to see. You talk about the Frankie change, absolutely. Also the Dani Olmo in that same regard, in that same sentence, his name needs to be mentioned. Fermin Lopez, who I expected was going to start. Again, in the pre-match, I did put Frankie over Dani Olmo. I think I did, actually. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought he was going to choose Fermin Lopez over Dani Olmo to start with. And deservedly so. I mean, Fermin Lopez has been always stellar against Madrid. Last season as well, of course, scoring a goal, assisting. And he's been great in the build-up of this in against Bayern as well, setting up Lewandowski. So he had all the numbers and the reasons to make a start. But the Dani Olmo substitution, and you mentioned Frankie as well, they were key. Frankie in that build-up, taps to just bounce off of your point. It's the pass back, quick pass back. I think it's Pedri who receives it with one of, I think it's Jude in the back of him, passes it back, and it's the one-touch pass to send Balde running, Frankie, over on the left wing, with then Madrid running back and plenty of time for Balde to just put in a delicious cross to feed the big Robert Lewandowski for his brace. That was a beautiful goal. And the build-up to the 1-0, absolutely stunning as well. That Casado pass through the Madrid defensive lines, just cutting through those lines like a hot knife through butter. Absolutely delicious. Initially, I was scared, especially seeing as we saw Mbappe score in the first half and that be ruled offside. Initially, I thought
that could potentially been an offside. He's onside by like half a meter. Luckily, that was a sigh of relief because I did initially sort of hold my breath and think, oh, they're probably gonna review this and we might see this goal be canceled out. Luckily, it wasn't, and then it was just the quick 1-2 punch, back to back, the knockout in 2 minutes, 2-0. Dream. From there on, it was like Madrid started to chase shadows. Before, like I said, it didn't feel like Barca were really submitting Madrid to where they were kind of lost perspective of the game, or kind of like a chance to be in the game. After that 1-2 punch, it was over, and I felt like physically Barca were much better as well. At that point, all the confidence is starting to ooze out of all of these players as well. They start feeling themselves. It was a domino effect, right? And we've seen it on so many occasions, I feel, where you're like, okay, we're now in control of this game. We're in cruise control, and we can start steamroll these mofos. And that's how it went. I mean, a dream goal by Lamine Yamal, of course, as well. So happy that all the Barca forwards managed to get on the score sheet. I feel like Lewandowski definitely, those 2 goals that he scored, the 1-0, the 1-on-1 against Lunin, just perfectly placed, the header and the 2-0. He then goes to miss definitely 1, potentially even 2 big chances. He could have had 2 more before then Barca finish it off, Lamine Yamal, with that wonderful 3-0, an absolute dagger into the hearts of the Bernabeu faithful. That taps, as you saw, brought a whole bunch of racist abuse. Very unfortunate, very lamentable. I mean, it's disgusting to see that it's just still so frivolously, so present, so used, these words. And, unfortunately, it was more than just the corner as well. I know that the TV or the sort of the clips that went viral stem from that corner, but there's other clips that have gone viral where you hear and see other people shouting abuse, from racist abuse, from different areas of the stadium. I say all this because it is unfortunate that it's so present, but it happens everywhere. It just happens in Spain. It's readily present, and no team is exempt from having these fucking idiots attend their matches. That is the deep and disappointing, but also reality that we still live in as a society. It's the minority, but it's a way too vocal of a minority. And, with social media, I guess, with the help as well of Madrid being committed, it would seem to look for these people, to expel them from their stadiums, which needs to happen. We know which way La Comunidad de Madrid, how they vote, and I've talked on Churros about how Madrid also as an institution tries to kind of dispel and, let's say, hide some of these culprits that are high ranked when it comes to their fan base and their member, their peñas, right? Their official member clubs and stuff. But they are still there, man. And, you see it immediately, right? You just see it immediately. So had to address that a little bit. And Rafinha, again, big ups to Madrid for being committed, for Vinny as well, for, staying true and I guess in that sense to the cause, right? And we all should stand by that. Rafinha, the 4-0 game, done and dusted, in the old bag it goes. And another just memorable night. What a finish as well from Rafinha, leaving us in suspense, having that little bounce over Lunin, doing the Mbappe. He could have celebrated the same way. It was funny, actually. I don't know if you saw that, but was it the Saudi league? And I forget which league it was. One player on Sunday scored, I guess, a similar goal and went to do the Mbappe celebration and then doing a little lob gesture and going like, "Get out of here with that! Get out of here with that ish, with that ooh ish." Um, that was very very funny. It's just been a really good. It's been a good time, my friend. It's been a good time. It's good to be, see my kids be able to see these triumphs, these short term objectives, all the while building to the big long term objective, and that is, of course, winning trophies at the end of the season and doing so in a style that convinces, the style that is present. The ideas are clear, the players have bought into it, and that's my criticism has always been. Now Ancelotti's back under the bus, taps. All the Madridistas are off of the Ancelotti wagon again. I mean, this style, we can't say that Madrid have been playing in a very clear way, that they have had a very clear game plan, and they rely much more on individual brilliances and moments of these iluminación, donde están iluminados, inspirados, inspirational moments to either make a comeback or score a goal off in a good bit of individual or say combination play between two or three teammates. But it's not, I have a problem with those that demand Ancelotti's head after a humiliation like we just experienced in the Clásico, to then be celebrating and praising his name after a season of triumphant season, at least in terms of trophies, where you win these trophies in miraculous ways, being down tremendously against a Manchester City that then have to make a comeback, and all these other comebacks. They're well documented. But that shouldn't be a style that you can take home to, that you can bank on, that football manuals will be written by this. You won't hear coaches say, guys, we're going to go in the locker room, be down 2 goals, and then we're going to start making a massive comeback. Like, there's just not that. There hasn't been that neither with Ancelotti and Madrid for quite some time, if you ask me. But it's this espíritu thing, this unexplainable thing, the espíritu de Juanito, that allows you guys to, win trophies and the fan base be happy. But anyways, man, it's just kind of, it's funny to me. Taps, you've been here filling up the chat. Let me get to some of your comments here. Yeah, great for Barca, sure, 100%. You guys outclassed us second half. Was great match all around. The Betis, Atleti, and La Real Osasuna going under the radar. Mamma mia, that Inter Juve. Yeah, dude, I'm sure I've been missing a gang of football. Partidazo after Frank. Okay, so the Frankie thing we touched on. We could have stayed in the game, but we didn't tactically respond. What tactically responds? Like calling upon the espíritu de Juanito, Taps. Like what? Genuinely, what? What tactically have you guys done? I mean, against Dortmund, it was their tactical inefficiency, you could argue, that allowed Madrid to have this remontada, taking off their best player and protecting the result to then, Zasca, receive 5 in a half. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, unfortunate again, because players should be allowed to celebrate how they want. And these provocation arguments. Look, there's definitely provocation, Taps. You and I disagree strongly on that. I do think, and I maintain my position. I'm not going to sway from it unless proven otherwise. But, my eyes tells me that Vini has it in him to unnecessarily encararse con el público, to provoke or at least get in with it with the crowd, whether it's the cleaning of the badge, whether it's telling the crowd of in what was it, the Real Arena, right, a Real Sociedad, to shut up, whether it's like getting into it with the Mallorca players saying that he earns more money than them, when it's with Coque saying that, and that is why I play in Real Madrid and why I win Champions League, whether it's with against Girona and David Lopez, whether it's pushing Mingueza to the floor, whether it's with Kimmich and just tossing the ball away, whether it's with the guy in Leipzig as well. And I understand that if Kian is here, he's going to tell me that this is all Vinny is the victim and that he is being provoked. But the consistency, that he gets into things, there's a track record there. There's a pattern there. And you can have and be a hothead on the off occasion, the odd occasion, but the consistent, even at the Bernabeu, like I said, some of these games, examples that I mentioned, Mingueza was the Bernabeu. The Leipzig guy was the Bernabeu. I think Kimmich as well. Girona the same. Even at home, there's still these constant bickering and moments of where he donde se encara. I don't know the exact right translation for that in English, but he gets into it with players or members of the crowd, people of the crowd, and the frequency of that, I mean, he loses his cool too much, and there is definitely a provocation argument to be held here, and you can have your view and live your reality. I hope you appreciate or respect mine. We can have differences in opinion. I don't think that is a crime, but I do stand by what I am seeing, what my eye test is telling me. Easy to identify them and ban them. That's right, Taps. I agree. They are very easy to identify now. So let's get after these racist bastards and get them out of the beautiful game. It's annoying that the crowd always ruin it before everyone. It's not about club loyalties. It would be hypocritical for anyone to move the goalpost based on badges. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if La Liga has done anything about it yet, Taps. I don't know if Tebas or La Liga have put out a statement. They did it quick with Vinny, as they should. I don't know, what is being done right now. When Nagy, the basketball player for Barça, it was like a day or two after what the scandal that happened with Vinny in Mestalla. It was a Clásico Madrid-Barça in that case. The Barça bus was parked in front of the what's the Madrid stadium called? The Whizzing Center. Barça players get out, and Nagy was called a derogatory racist term, and nothing was done about it. So there is a clear hypocrisy here that still exists, that is still too present. But I think addressing it and talking about it, at least we become more aware of these hypocrisies and these unfortunate moments as well. They need to be eradicated. There's nothing new because that's who Coach Carlo is. He's not a manager who gives freedom to his players. I think he does give freedom. I feel like it is kind of like, he's not a manager who gives free. I think he does give. I think there isn't really a defined system there. I'm confused. It just is boring to see it. I told you that, Tabs. I don't enjoy watching Madrid play. It's not an attractive proposition of football, in my opinion. And it just kind of feels like the things are not very, very clear as to what Carlo Ancelotti wants from this team. It's much more of a reactive style of football. I don't feel like there's much initiative taking, a proactive approach, a daring approach, and no me gusta. I don't like it. All right, guys. We got Bilal as well. Jakub in the house. I heard people were dancing all night in Barcelona. Is that true? I was definitely dancing, my friend, with my family. Had the family. My sister was all the way over. My dad, my kids. We were partying, my friend. Partying it up. Hells yeah. What about Yamal? Will you take the same stance as Vinny? Yeah, of course. Taps the same, but not tactically responding, as in we didn't change anything. We kept playing the same ball. I see. Right, yes. Similar to how Flick brought in Frankie to balance the midfield. I gotcha. I misread the Carlo thing. Okay, my bad. So what you're saying is what I meant by not responding, Carlo. I got it. Yes. But still, I mean, if you want Carlo to play a more interesting brand of football, it should. And I know Kian is gonna lap this up, but Arda Güler, man, you had to put him in from the start. When is that kid gonna be able to express his footballing skills on the pitch for an extensive amount of time? It beats me. I'm happy that he's not, of course. I think he did an awful job by choosing to go to Madrid. I think we would have gotten way better production out of Arda Güler. But that's not our problem. In the meantime, we're going to get our production from our kids, the Mazia Starlets, and lower the background music. Yes, I do hear that. I was just putting it down. Thank you, Bilal Yakub, for letting me know. So, yeah, I, of course, I'm happy that Carlo is really quite. He's just much more of a conservative coach, right? Comes with the age, perhaps, as well. But it's a pragmatic approach, and it's not my problem. We'll see. It'll be interesting once Xavi Alonso comes. I do think that he will come, and hopefully, the next time around we can have a real back and forth. I actually thought it was going to be maybe a 2-4, like a 4-2 Barça, maybe a 4-3. We could see that. I didn't expect the 4-0. I mean, I think physically Barça is just we're just steamrolling right now, man. Like, you could see Madrid was not able to keep up with this intensity as well. A Madrid that never presses as intensely as Barça do. So they couldn't keep it up. I mean, it says a lot, the fact that on Sunday, and again, it's been raining buckets here in Barcelona, that Hansi and the team were training while Carlo gave his team the day off, right? They were back in training at 11 a.m. Crazy as it sounds, it's true. So, and these things, they mean a lot. They do mean a lot. They of course, it's hard to keep that up, that intensity, and you need all your players to be as fit as possible. And Dani Olmo and Pedri, there are several players, not to jinx anyone, but that have quite a track record, of course, of injuries. So, and to play this intense style of football, you need to be just at your utmost fit, 100% level fitness, and then some. So Hansi right now has been great in rotation, in player rotation, managing the minutes as well. So I'm just ready for a good continuation, part 2 of this season, and at the end of this season, be dancing truly all night, my friend. And that one would definitely go into the long morning hours, or early morning hours, just to say. Listen, part 2 is coming tomorrow. Kian Sobani will be back. There is a churros with a dynamic duo coming up tomorrow. And so you guys will all be looking forward to that, I'm sure, as well. It's been a long time. We've got so much to catch up. And I appreciate all of you guys to have stayed loyal, stuck with us, and more good things coming. Bilal, you're saying, should Carlo get sacked? No, Carlo should not get sacked. And I say that for several reasons. I say that for selfish reasons, but also because you guys should need to stick with what you chose. I mean, you could have fired him last year then. You guys went on to win Champions League and League when last time that you received a beating, quite a beating on Barça. It was all tits up. Project was going to be a failure. Carlo out, this and that. And you guys still went on to win the Champions League. So he can still turn this thing around. It is still Real Madrid. It's the Real Madrid. It's the Espíritu de Juanito. And who knows what Juanito's spirit still has in store of goodness, of miracles for you lot, Los Blancos. I hope not many. I feel like the tide is turning. I feel it's our time again. But time will also tell. More on this. Xavi would have been complaining about depth and external forces. I mentioned is the fitness intensity from him. You sneak in all the Xavi digs you want, my friend. Listen, should I touch this Vinny thing? I told you I want to stay clear from it with a 2-meter stick. I think I'll save it for tomorrow. I got nothing really much to say about it. It's just funny to me. It, of course, it's sort of the cherry on the cake because es que es una semana redonda. After beating Bayern and Madrid the way we did, and then having to hear all the build-up about the Ballon d'Oro and this, that, and the other, and just then reading that the Madrid brigade, the commission has decided not to go, to cancel the tickets. Vinny's canceled his party because, hey, looks like he ain't winning it. Maybe he is, though. I mean, what if he actually is and his name gets called out and it turns out that nobody has traveled? The Madrid expedition has not traveled based on what they heard a journalist say, but actually it was Vinny winning. Look, I don't know, man. I let the results come in. I think if he doesn't win, I think it's hilarious. I think, it definitely pleases me because, for my clear disdain on Real Madrid and everything that represents. We can talk about Rodri deserving it more last year, yes or no, whether him who has the bigger impact on his team. I think it's undeniable that in the crucial moments of the season, especially in the Champions League, Vinny had a massive impact and is culprit for Madrid having a winning trophies at the end of the season. That's undeniable. I think from a statistics perspective, it was fine. I seem to remember that statistically it's not his best season, but I can't 100% confirm that. There is no clear Messi figure this time around. There is no clear Messi or Cristiano type player that is head over heels above his competitors. Or like the women, for example, Aitana and Graham Hansen are just the big two standouts. Vinny, was I completely surprised that he was tipped to win it for so long? No, we know the weight that the Champions League holds. Obviously, domestic league winners as well. Having a very good season in terms of goals and assists. There's no doubt about it. But, and I think what is an interesting angle to this debate is now that Rodri seems or is tipped to win it, wouldn't a Carvajal been a better pick? And I think that is something that we could talk about. Look forward to talking about that with Kian tomorrow. Would Carvajal be the fairer pick over a Rodri if Rodri ends up winning it, or did Vini get robbed? Again, I touched upon it earlier times. I said everybody has their own reality, right? We speak our truths the way that we see it, the way that we, como sacamos conclusiones, the way we rationalize things and draw conclusions in our head and are based of the information that we receive. Everybody has their truth. I'm not a religious person, but you have religious fanatics, political fanatics, sporting fanatics that will argue their case and truly believe the truth that they are preaching. I don't have a big ¿cómo se dice? I don't have a fight to pick. I don't have a fighter to pick in this fight or chicken to pick in this fight. don't have a chicken to pick in this fight. All right. I don't really care. I think it's funny now that que todo el mundo dice, oh, que, desprestigio, like there's no prestige anymore to this Ballon de Oro. Whereas had Vinny taken it and just given the fact that how often it's mentioned, how often people talk about it already way in advance, they try to then to at the last minute try to take away the prestige, the credibility, or the merit of this award, the Ballon de Oro. It's again being a bit of a child and a bit hypocritical. Either believe in it in a year-by-year basis, have your criteria. The criteria seem to be a little bit more clear. This, I don't know, seems to be like individual merits, collective merits, and then like fair play merits is a third one. I don't know if that is true, but it's sort of the checklist that I've seen go around, make its rounds on social media. So, hey, take your pick, fill in the argument, and I'm sure anybody can make an argument for any of these three players. Rodri, Vini, and Carvajal, I guess, would be my podium, if you will. My three in which whatever freaking order. All right, folks, I'm out of here. All right? Stay with us for part 2 tomorrow, or join us once again. Hit us up on patreon.com/churros y tácticas. I post all the content now, so free and paid. So you guys make sure you keep tabs on what is being put up there. Kian is back, so I guess all you folks coming over from Managing Minions will be in the loop of whatever gets posted there. But for those of you that don't, subscribe to D-Spot. You know what I'm saying? This is my humble little corner, my Kule hangout, my Kule corner. Sorry, Jamie. So come and hang out with me here, or join us on patreon.com/churros y tácticas for both the free and the paid content. All right, that's it, folks. I'm out of here. Have a good one. Y visca el Barça.